Thirst Trap, A Corporate Love Story is the fourth episode of the 35th season of The Simpsons. This is directed by, and as always there will be some spoilers as I talk about the episode and share some thoughts. I don't really care about going into much detail with this one because I absolutely hated it. There were 4 or 5 small things that I quite liked, and I will talk about those at the end. Credit where it's due, but in general I thought the concept was terrible, the execution was appalling. I didn't care for this at all. Starts off with Mr. Burns talking to the camera. We then cut to a year earlier, and the episode is all about a character called Persephone Odair. She's voiced by Elizabeth Banks, and I found her really irritating. And that coupled with the really boring narrative, and I hate the narrative style. It's filmed created as a documentary, which doesn't work at all. I really don't care for it. I mean, I guess they achieved what they tried to achieve with creating it as a documentary. There's a lot of variety. We talk to a lot of different characters. So I guess that does work well with what they were trying to achieve, as far as I can tell. But I didn't enjoy it as a narrative style. And basically it's all about how Persephone wanted Mr. Burns to invest in this company Lifeboat, and then it's about their relationship, and then suspicious activity is happening. And the bulk of the second half of the episode is trying to unravel this suspicious activity. And honestly, I could not care less. I didn't care what was going on. I wasn't interested in finding out. Once we found out, I know I said spoilers, but I won't give everything away, largely because I just do not care about it. But once we found out, it was fine. I didn't really find it interesting, but it wasn't something that came out of nowhere or anything. So it's not a good story. The storytelling isn't very good, at least in my opinion or with my personal preference. Persephone Odair is a very boring, sometimes quite irritating character, and I would say this is one of the worst episodes of The Simpsons of all time. And generally, I am a very big Simpsons fan. I know a lot of people say that the most recent seasons aren't very good, and I will agree that some of the episodes are not as good as earlier seasons, but generally, I'm still enjoying the show quite a lot. This episode, definitely not too much at all, so didn't care for this. Thought it was honestly pretty terrible. But I will mention, I think, 5 very small things that I did like. The first one, Lisa's comment on cleaning metal straws. I'm all for using metal straws, reusable straws, but cleaning them, absolute nightmare. So I'm with Lisa there. We get to hear Fight Song a few times. I will say they overused it. They did not need to use the Fight Song as much as they did, but I do like the song, so contradicting myself by saying that actually I quite like that. Homer's reference to The Office, I liked. I am a relatively new fan of The Office. It's only this year that I started to enjoy it. I hated it in the first season, and then now in season 3, honestly getting a little bit obsessed. I am talking about the US Office, and Homer's reference and the face he made at the camera, I did like. I enjoyed that. Very brief moment, but I would say I did like that bit of the episode. The kind of gory image we get when the kids drink the water, loved that. Again, it lasted about a second. And the reference to Persephone's grandfather fixing the British spellings on Wikipedia, it amused me. I'd rather they were fixing the American spellings to become the British version, but aside from that, I did like it. So 5 very tiny things that I enjoyed, but the rest of the episode, honestly, absolutely terrible. A really bad episode. At the time of recording, it is currently the 40th lowest rated episode of The Simpsons of all time. That's 40 out of 774, so that's kind of saying something. That being said, it's only been out for a year, and there isn't the largest pool of opinions at the moment. At the time of recording, there are 609 reviews and ratings. So maybe over time it will bump up. Maybe over time as more people see it. Certainly The Simpsons season 35 has only just landed yesterday on Disney Plus in the UK. So maybe over time that rating will change. But at the moment, 40th out of nearly 800 episodes, which I have to say is pretty incredible, should hopefully highlight just how terrible this is and how many people don't like it. I think it's absolutely appalling. Thirst Trap, A Corporate Love Story is not an episode of The Simpsons I will likely ever watch again.